there's two storylines that have popped up early. One surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, one surrounding a former Pittsburgh Steelers as training camp approaches. We'll start with the former Steeler. Chase Claypool starts Chicago Bears training camp on the PUP list, physically unable to perform. We were kind of uncertain what the injury is at this point, but this follows a very rough summer for the former Steelers wide receiver. The guy at one point was reported that he wasn't self-motivated, and the Bears were worrisome about what was happening with Chase and his expectations for this season. Then the whole modeling thing happens. We do come back a little bit and say, oh, okay, well, he was out there to kind of teach flag football to some kids. But at the same time, he was putting more of a show on for the fact that he was a model or hanging out with models than he was playing football, coaching football, the whole nine. A week ago, 2 weeks ago or something like that, he puts out a thing slamming fans or haters that say he doesn't post any workout videos and that all he posts are other things, saying, why would I do that? And then boom, he pops up on the PUP list to start training camp. I mean, what are your thoughts? At this point with Chase Claypool, things are getting a little dangerous, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I see every Chase Claypool headline from over the summer, and I just think, wow, Omar Khan, this guy is elevating Omar Khan's, resume and reputation with just every passing day. And Omar Khan doesn't have to do anything. He traded him away, and now, I don't know, it's kind of because he just looks better and better by the day. But every time Chase Claypool pops up in the news, Omar Khan just looks like a better GM, and that trade looks even better than it did the day before.
Oh yeah. It's we're at the point where we're about to talk about Joey Porter Jr., but I mean, Joey Porter Jr. could hold out for a week of training camp, and we're still looking at it like, yeah, well, he's a rookie and he's fighting for a contract, and the situation isn't great, but it's not Chase Claypool. Like, we're not looking at Chase Claypool. And that's the thing, is like the Steelers think about a year ago, talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're talking about, oh, Chase Claypool's got to have a huge year. This is Deontay Johnson's year. And then Calvin Austin will be in the slot. And you're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Like, cool, good. Anthony Miller might make a splash. You never know. This year, you're looking Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. Oh, and George Pickens. Forgot about George Pickens. Excuse me. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Calvin Austin, maybe. There's like 8 or 9 guys that seemingly are fighting for a roster spot as a wide receiver. The upgrade that has come with replacing Chase Claypool is ridiculous. Like, I could have never seen it coming. And that's a guy I was a big Chase Claypool fan coming into the NFL. Like, I heard good things. I did hear there was some attitude issues, but outside of that, like, I heard nothing but positive remarks about what Chase Claypool could do. Had the phenomenal rookie season. And then afterwards, it just seemingly seems like this guy is just, he knows who he is. He knows how good he is. That's it. And he's just like, all right, whatever. And I feel like you hear that in the NBA with guys a lot, but I think it's rare that you hear about that in the NFL. Chase Claypool seems like one of those guys in the NBA that like understands he's 6'5" and he could run a 4.3, and he's, like, he shouldn't be this athletic. Nobody should be this athletic, but he is. And because of that, I'll go make $1 million and I'll look good. And when it's all said and done, I'll just go be a model. That's what this strikes me as.
Yeah. I kind of had that same thought too. I obviously can't know what's going on inside of Chase's head, but
of course,
it just doesn't seem like he really likes football, quite honestly, which is fine. I mean, you don't have to, but that's a red flag to other people. And it's, like I said, he doesn't have to love football, but it's not, I don't think it's really what he wants to do with his life. It was just something that he was really good at, and there was an avenue for him to make a lot of money doing it. And so he did that, and he might be kind of realizing that this is just not for me. And so it seems like he'll ride it out as long as he can, but I don't think he'll be completely devastated, or would be completely devastated if his football career ended, within the next year or something.
Yeah. And I think that's the, dangerous path that he's heading towards, because at this point, you're going to start on the PUP list, which, injuries are injuries, and I don't think that's a Chase Claypool thing, but it's like the last place you want to start right now. Like, after this summer that he's had, you are walking into a situation where you need to prove yourself with 2 somewhat star wide receivers, 1 superstar wide receiver, and then Darnell Mooney, who's an emerging star, who are going to be in front of you, who the Bears are going to look at as building blocks to this offense. Meanwhile, you're entering a contract season. You have complete uncertainty about the future, and you already have negative reports, and you're going to start on the PUP list, which is the last thing that you want to happen. So I think the expectations for Chase Claypool right now are rough. I think there is a possibility that we see very limited Chase Claypool moving forward, which stinks. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, they won that trade. I think that's very obvious, unless Joey Porter Jr. turns into a complete bust. But even then, I think there's an argument to be said that, like, well, you at least tried. You at least, you
Yep.
gave it a
You
good
took a
effort.
swing.
Yeah. You took a swing instead of dealing with somebody who, I mean, when Chase Claypool left, there are all those reports that he was a cancer to the locker room, the whole nine. So, sometimes that's still a win, even if it doesn't work out for the player.